Welcome back. All right, quick news video here, and then I'll be doing the preview tonight as well. I might as well post it to the channel. There are no games tonight, so we might as well get the preview going. 16 games tomorrow in the NHL, so busy day for me. But talking about some junior hockey and things going on around the hockey world right now, Kitchener upset the heavily favored number one seeded Windsor, which frees up Shane Wright. So the Seattle Kraken could send him to Coachella Valley to get some more time in the AHL. Coachella Valley having a good year. They're going to the playoffs there, so it gives him a chance to get more experience. So for Shane Wright, probably disappointed that Windsor's out, but it could provide him an opportunity to go to the American Hockey League and get in some more games there. Looking at the race in the East and how things didn't really change last night, but it is worthy of note that there's very different opponents that are at play here. So for Florida, they're in the driver's seat. Their last three games are against Washington first. That's in Washington tomorrow. Then they're at home for Toronto and Carolina. Now, normally, I would be saying, well, Toronto and Carolina, and I know I said last week, it may very well be a mirage that they take over that spot and then Pittsburgh comes back and takes it. But Toronto's now assured of home ice advantage against Tampa Bay. So they're not really playing for anything. And then you have Carolina. Carolina might be playing for first at that point. They might not. We'll see how the next few days goes, but two of those three teams are in the playoffs. The Islanders, who are 40, 30, and 9, so same amount of points as Florida, but they're behind on the tiebreak. They're at home against Philadelphia tomorrow, and then they go to Washington, and then they're at home against Montreal. So the Islanders are playing very well right now, and their last three games, all of those three games are winnable. So the Islanders are in pretty good shape, which means for Pittsburgh, they're going to have to cross their fingers and hope because they're 1 point back. They have to hope for Florida or the Islanders to stumble, and they have to avoid the dreaded trap against Detroit tomorrow where they're in Detroit, and then they're at home against Chicago before they finish off the season at Columbus. So again, all three of those games are winnable for Pittsburgh. We could see all three of them win out. It is fascinating last night watching Florida absolutely destroy Ottawa. At least on the scoreboard, the shots would tell you it was closer than what the score would tell you. The Islanders, their destruction of Tampa Bay, that score was pretty accurate. And Pittsburgh with a pretty commanding win over Minnesota. So all three teams yesterday played and brought their A game. And so we'll see if that's the case tomorrow as well. One thing to keep an eye on is the next point that Joe Pavelski gets for Dallas will be his 1,000th. Pavelski's been around for a long time. There'll definitely be a video when he hits the 1,000 point mark because I think it really shows his conditioning and his dedication to the game. And so, for Joe Pavelski, pretty big point total there and pretty big milestone. So yeah, there'll definitely be a video when he reaches 1,000 points because I'm honestly I didn't think he would get there. If you'd asked me 3 years ago, I'd have said, maybe not. He'll slow down. Hasn't really. So if you're going to watch the NCAA final, that's tomorrow. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. It is Minnesota versus Quinnipiac. I checked at that time. There's going to be like 7 different NHL games on. So, right. So the NCAA final is between two teams that aren't BU and Michigan. Boston University and Michigan taken out in the Final Four. So it's Minnesota and Quinnipiac. And so we'll see what ends up happening there. Speaking of NCAA hockey, Adam Fantilli won the Hobey Baker Award today. He's going to be the number 2 draft pick in this year's draft. And for a consolation prize, he's going to be pretty good. If your team doesn't win the draft lottery, but they end up drafting number 2, I think Fantilli is going to be pretty darn good. One thing with NCAA, of course, he may not play right away. He may need more time in the NCAA, but that's fine. Honestly, Fantilli, from all the hype I've seen of him, he would have been number 1 in other drafts. Just this is the Connor Bedard draft. At last check, Connor Bedard in Regina, he has a goal in that game. It's the only goal Regina has so far. They are trailing against Saskatoon, but we'll see how it goes. So we are definitely getting down to it. If you're a fan of junior hockey, playoffs are well underway. Some teams already waiting for who they're going to play in the second round. And then in the National Hockey League, not this Monday, but the following Monday, playoffs will be getting started. So there you go. Yep, quick little news video for all you fine people on the internet. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.